Here we are. After reviewing and playing through past LEGO Marvel titles, I figured I might as well go ahead and visit what is, at least right now, the last game of the trilogy, being LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. How does this fare? Let's find out. The story of the game takes place after the first title. The Guardians of the Galaxy are called into action, responding to an attack by Kang the Conqueror, who would end up invading Earth after the Avengers help Nick Fury once again. During Kang's attack, the Avengers and the world is split, forming into a new location, Chronopolis, which is a world consisting of fragments of not only other worlds such as Asgard and Sakaar, but also universes as evidenced by the differing variants of New York City, such as New York Noir and Nueva York. Hell, adding the Old West and medieval England. Regardless, it's up to the Marvel heroes to stop Kang and his antics. Not a bad storyline by any means, as it's still that over-the-top, humor-filled plot to expect from LEGO titles. On to the gameplay, and LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 follows on much of the classic formula of TT Games LEGO titles, pre-Skywalker Saga but post-Batman 2, I think. And there is an open world to explore, and it's how you get to your objectives, while your levels are the basic LEGO platformer fare since the first LEGO Star Wars. It's for the most part as you'd expect, but in some cases in the hub world, you'll have to do an extra objective or two before the level starts. It's especially true with the bonus levels with Gwenpool narrating. Reasons as to why, more on that later, but still. Wander, build, solve puzzles, have the right powers, come back later when you have the characters unlocked for extras, you get it. Sad to say, but I don't think I like the hub world. Even thematically, it just feels too cluttered and kind of a dull circle. I'd rather be exploring plain old New York City, or at least smaller hubs representing these realms. Not a great merger. What's also not great is that the game is a victim of legal meddling on two fronts. One, it was hit by the 2016 SAG-AFTRA strikes, so all the voice actors you heard in LEGO Marvel 1 and Avengers, not here. Granted, the voice cast featured in this game aren't bad, but still. To game publishers, pay your people. Actors, game devs, everyone. 2. It was also a victim of the Fox-Disney feud, which as a result had Disney forced game devs to not use certain Marvel characters under the film rights under 20th Century Fox. Meaning, no X-Men and no Fantastic Four, despite their influence since their comic inception. And it wasn't just LEGO and TT Games. Disney were strict about this to Capcom even, and it hurt Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. As much as I hate the buyout, at least it ended when old man Murdoch decided to sell that wing of Fox to Disney, only to create another entertainment wing that gave us Tubi, but I digress. Now that isn't to say the game is bad. Far from it, as the gameplay is still very entertaining. Plenty of side quests to do add for more replayability, even though for the bonus levels, Gwenpool as the narrator is kind of annoying. And what's more, they finally fixed the character customization. No longer will powers and abilities be attached to certain LEGO pieces. Instead, you get to pick your powers. You get to pick your equipment. Clothing pieces are only for aesthetics, etc. It's not without limits, as not all powers and clothing pieces are there, but with what you can, it's a vast improvement over past LEGO games since LEGO Star Wars 2. Too bad TT Games sacked it for Skywalker Saga. I don't get that. Moving on to the graphics, and though I criticize the open world choices, I do however like the shifts in visual tone made when you go into places like New York Noir, and it's all of a sudden in black and white. Hell, when most of the other tints change, it remains colorful, well-detailed game that still feels like a collection of LEGO toys in a playset. Even on the Switch, both in handheld and in dock mode, the game looks great. The soundtrack of the game, for a feel not unlike the MCU, particularly if James Gunn was directing, as they've chosen 2 licensed tracks heard in films like the first Guardians of the Galaxy with Come and Get Your Love by Redbone, and the second one with Mr. BlueSky by ELO, which are classics, though there remains original composed tracks credited to Ian Livingstone, which fit the overall mood of Marvel. To end, one other thing I don't like about this game is the choice to replace Deadpool. Again, due to the Fox-Disney feud with Gwenpool. I don't know, even knowing Deadpool is kind of deliberately obnoxious as much as I like him, I can't say Gwenpool is as funny as a character. It definitely feels like she was chosen way last minute to replace Wade. Overall, despite even the legal shortcomings, LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 is a fun title to be had. Nowhere near as good as the first LEGO Marvel title, but better than the Avengers game. Still worth a look if you find it for cheap, or better, pick up the LEGO Marvel Superheroes trilogy found on PS4 and Xbox.